This time of year, I think of October is generally the month, and there's been a lot of research done over the years by a lot of different entities that look at this. Just from a statistical standpoint, October seems to be a really good month.
And so all the news stories, like they're pinpointing right now, not just October, but they're saying October 12th through 18th is the national best week. Timing can shift depending on the local markets. We're coming up on October 12th through the 18th, and I would say it is a really good time to be a buyer. It's more balanced. The interest rates are a little better. Sellers, if they've been on the market here towards the end of summer for a little bit, they're going, oh my gosh, we're going into fall.
Welcome to Albuquerque Real Estate Talk, episode 555.
Doesn't that number sound good?
I know, 555. I just said it's the beginning of October, and Tracy, you corrected me and said it's 1/3 into October already.
Yeah, it's already the 9th of October. You were going to say, well, we just started October. I'm like, no, we're well into October.
Yeah, so obviously second week of Balloon Fiesta is right here, right now.
Been a great week.
We've got our Balloon Fiesta 2025 poster on display. If you're watching us online, this is the one we're going to be giving away.
Didn't even notice you had done that.
Yeah.
Very good, Tigo Venturi. So we have our guest who's not a guest.
Yeah, we've got Estelle Venturi joining us, our daughter who's been in real estate her entire life, whether she liked it or not, but works with us, and she's a buyer's agent to help
Actually, buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
She works with both. She's been with us for over 2 years.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Right. Licensed realtor. Many of you know Estelle because she gets out and about and participates in a lot of the realtor activities and events and things around our metro area.
You've got Rico also. You should talk about Rico.
Oh,
Rico the dog who's sitting on your lap this week.
Our real estate dog, Rico, comes to the office a lot. And today, as we're recording, he wants to be on my lap and he's panting. So I don't know what's going on, but he's here.
Okay. Well, these are our topics this week.
Okay.
Is right now the best time to buy a home? We're going to dig into that.
And I bet Estelle has some insight into that.
Yes, she does.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk, you've got a featured neighborhood up North Rio Rancho, but not really North Rio Rancho.
Exactly.
We're going to talk about that.
Yep.
A conversation about flood zones came up this week, and so we're going to look into that. And the surprising, people in Albuquerque may be surprised about this regarding flood zones.
Yeah, good information.
As well as we're going to do my deep dive into the September market data, talk about what's going on in the housing market, how things are looking, where we're at in the real estate cycle right now. I've been gone for a couple weeks. You guys have done a great job. I've been listening to your podcasts and last week with Joanna, the mortgage lender, going through all this stuff going on in the mortgage world, which was great. And that's one of the stories just right now in real estate is mortgage rates.
Yeah.
Mortgage rates have some of the lowest we've seen in a very long time. And that it looks like it's brought buyers into the market.
Definitely has. There's some statistics for that, I bet. But one of the things Joanna from Primary Residential Mortgage said last week is she had just locked somebody in. Good credit, good employment, not a lot of debt. They paid 1 point and their interest rate was 5.5. So that was really good.
5 handle.
Yeah.
So that's been the thing in the kind of the real estate econ world that I'm in the middle of, and is that getting rates with a 5 on it as opposed to a 6, it could really spur some activity.
And what we're seeing, and probably you've seen it too, Estelle, working with buyers, we've been able to get some of the sellers who are motivated to sell to contribute towards the buyer's closing costs to help them get that buy down, the money to buy down the interest rate a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We went through that a few weeks ago where we talked about a 10% price reduction versus a 1% mortgage rate reduction and how much that affects your actual monthly payment. So that's why having a good mortgage broker, mortgage lender to run the scenarios for you is pretty important.
So just to go a little deeper on that. So when we're negotiating and the buyer is really firm, I'm not going to pay over X, and the seller's like, I'm sorry, I'm not coming down any further, and we're 10,000 apart or something, an interest rate buy down will make a much bigger difference in their monthly payment than that $10,000.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
and that won't cost the seller as much
Right.
as the price reduction.
So it's a lot of times a better negotiating strategy. So moving on.
Yeah,
I
let's talk.
know
I know
that
we just
wasn't even on the list.
I know, no, it's good. It's where we are in the market. That's the conversations that are happening right now in the real estate world. So
Right.
let's talk about Santiago.
Oh, okay. We're jumping right in.
We're
Okay.
jumping right in.
So Santiago is a neighborhood that
Yeah.
was a master planned area.
Thanks, Sam.
And it looks like it's in Rio Rancho. It's in North 528, almost to 550. Tigo's got the map up if you're online looking at it. It's right along 528 before you get basically to the north edge of Rio Rancho. It's a great community. There's a variety of different builders that built in there. Stillbrook, D.R. Horton, I'm not sure who else. But it's actually in Bernalillo. So one of the things about it, oh yeah, and you just zoomed in, Tigo. It's right adjacent to the Alegria Del Webb active adult 55 plus community with its own community center and pool and pickleball and everything. I don't know about pickleball actually. They had bocce ball
Yeah, bocce
in the
ball.
old
Yeah,
days,
yeah.
but maybe it's changed.
Or maybe what are those things where you slide the thing?
Shuffleboard?
Yeah, there you go. I remember seeing shuffleboard there one
I
time.
don't know. Anyway, so it's right next to the Del Webb community, but this is not a gated neighborhood, and it's often overlooked when people are looking for homes, maybe in North Rio Rancho, because it doesn't come up in searches if they're specifically looking Rio Rancho.
Yeah, so if you look Rio Rancho, you're not going to get this when you're doing your search. So you have to just do a map search, and then you'll see it because it's off of 528 versus when people think Bernalillo, they think
Valley,
east side of the river.
right,
They
right.
forget that west side of the river is also the village of Bernalillo.
Right, and the Walmart that's right adjacent to the Santiago neighborhood in Bernalillo here is actually Bernalillo. And people think, oh, it's the Walmart in Rio Rancho up there off North 528,
Yeah.
Pat Diarco Highway. It's got like 3 different names, that
So
road.
what else is going on in North Rio Rancho? Because it seems like there's a lot happening right now.
There is a lot. I don't know. Belle, have you ever been up to the block up there? It's like Tin Can Alley.
I have not been.
No, it's awesome. And they have live music a lot. It's really well set up. It's like a big rectangle of businesses with a center courtyard with a stage out front. So it's set up for live music, a lot of good little restaurant booths. And then there's a big brew pub. I don't remember what company.
Like
It's Santa Fe. No. It's Turtle Mountains.
Oh,
Yeah, Turtle Mountain's there. Yes, they've got a big place there. I think
Turtle
Santa
Mountain
Fe is.
has a standalone building.
That's right. Turtle Mountain's got a standalone.
It's not
right-
really a part of the block, I don't
That's
think.
correct. I think it's Santa Fe because I think anyway.
Yeah.
I think it's Santa Fe Brewing.
So,
yeah,
so it's a great little event place, but there's also a lot of retail up there, a lot of shops, a lot of restaurants, dog park, a lot of
well,
things
you've
going
got two
on.
golf courses right there.
Yeah, right. Tamaya.
Well, actually 3 because there's 2 at.
Well, Santa Ana
Ana,
has Santa Ana has. Do they have 36 holes or 27
I'm
holes?
embarrassed. I don't remember.
Yeah. Anyway, Santa Ana is great. A lot of community charity events are held there, and then there's Tamaya, of course, which is in my book. I've only played it once, and I was like, wow, this is one of the best courses I've played. I know Paco's awesome too.
Well, and so the takeaway here is that you've got a home for sale there too.
Oh yes.
I don't know if that's a takeaway. That's
No,
not really the takeaway.
let's talk about it.
The point of this conversation is that you have a home for sale there.
So it's going to be open this Saturday for the first time from 12 to 2. Don't miss it. It is a really great house. Tigo, how we talk about, and Estelle, we talk about those winners, and we sit at morning coffee without Estelle now since she has her own house. But
Hey,
we
look at that swimming pool with the
Is-
mountain view.
Yeah, so get online and check it out. So this house is on the corner, no houses to the south of it, and an unobstructed view from the Manzanos to practically Santa Fe.
So view to the south and to the east.
And it
basically.
has a swimming pool. The sellers call it a spool, so I'm not quite sure, but it's gorgeous. The kitchen's gorgeous. There's a huge loft upstairs. They've got a pool table using that space. Beautiful 2-story. It looks out over the Alegria neighborhood, but the Alegria and Santiago neighborhood are all on the side of the bluff, so there's a lot of elevation change, so the view is just phenomenal. Great house. And the main floor has the owner's suite with an extra room attached for, it could be office, could be a nursery, could be Could be a lot of things.
Wow,
So
somebody's gonna jump on this house quickly.
that's what I
It's
said.
a
It's one
real
of those
special house.
gems.
Yeah,
It's one of those we talk about in the morning and
right.
say, this is a special property. Oh, it's got that two-way fireplace in the owner's suite.
This is the first time I've looked at this house. The photos, it's really good. It's interesting. Something I noticed, it has a tub and a shower.
Yep,
And,
separate.
and we were just talking to one of the builder reps the other day, and they were talking. We were asking the builder rep, right? We were saying like, well, what are the things, that buyers are wanting these days? And the thing she mentioned was separate tub and shower in the primary bath.
That was Patty Johnson at the La Quinista neighborhood with Pulte Homes. La Quinista is Paseo and Unser area.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the Petroglyph Bluffs area. And they have some beautiful homes for sale there, sidebar. But get online and look at this, 866 Vista Patron. You don't want to miss it if you're looking to be in this part of town with a big house. I think it's 27. What does it say there?
2722.
And I think it's bigger than that, actually, maybe, but it says 2722. So it's a really large house for $515,000 in the Santiago neighborhood with huge views and a pool and a big loft. Yeah.
Well, you said if you're looking to be in that neighborhood, I think the point of talking about Santiago, North Rio Rancho, Bernalillo, that area is there's a lot happening there and people may not even realize it.
Right.
I saw somebody make a comment the other day. They said, well, buyers are getting forced out of the Northeast Heights because it's too affordable and they're having to go to places like Rio Rancho. And I thought, you don't realize that actually Rio Rancho is more expensive than
a lot of the Northeast.
Albuquerque now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Overall, the median price of homes in Rio Rancho are higher than the median price in Albuquerque. Now,
so they're thinking 20, 25, 30 years ago when Rio Rancho was more affordable.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And it was a realtor that was quoting that.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so moving on. Tigo, we had another thing come up. We had some buyers interested in a house. We started looking at the floodplain map because I said, isn't that in an area where there's like some arroyos? And so we just started looking at maps and you went deep and it was really great information.
Of course I did.
You went deep. That was almost like a water pun, but not quite.
Oh, it was almost flood zone deep. Yeah. Okay. I'll go with
it
that.
was
I'll
bad.
take that. Yeah.
Okay. So now we have a new map pulled up.
So what we're looking at is the FEMA flood map for the Albuquerque area.
So Tigo.
Now we're diving in.
Oh, that was good. Good pun.
Okay, come on. Give me a high five for that one.
Okay,
That was
so
a good dad joke.
you recently represented a fourplex as the listing broker.
Correct.
And it's located off a little bit west of Carlisle near Comanche.
Correct.
Right? And we're going through the whole due diligence process, the buyer is, and they say, oh, this house is in a floodplain. And we're like, what?
Well,
The lender said.
I knew that.
Oh, right.
I knew it right up front.
You knew it.
Yeah. And I disclosed it.
And it was disclosed.
But sorry, you were telling the story and I interrupted you. You better finish.
No, it's your story. Go ahead.
Well, the thing was, there was just a sliver of the property that was actually in the flood zone map from FEMA, the flood zone A, which is the 100-year flood zone. But it never, anyway, there's a service you can use and it's called My Flood Status. And what they will do is they'll do a flood zone determination. And what they'll do, let me pull up-
Determination.
what did I say?
I don't. It sounded like termination.
Termination,
for
flood
us.
zone determination. I know I still have a little sniffles from my cold. What they'll do is, if you're looking online here, what they'll do is they'll do a map and actually identify where the actual flood zone is. Because you could have a property that identifies as in the flood zone, but it could just be a corner of it or just a little
Partial.
piece of it, or maybe the arroyo is it back to the arroyo, but it still may or may not require flood insurance. So this service, My Flood Status, will actually give you a determination of if it is or not, and if it does or does not need insurance.
Let's go back to the other map. So what's interesting is an area like Comanche and Carlisle, where you would never think you're going to have a floodplain problem, can. So when you look at this map, there's little spots all over the metro area, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque. Obviously, we know along the river, we know in Bernalillo and Los Lunas and Belen, there are flood zone areas that we just know. But
Well, look at this, like Wyoming and Comanche, right? There's some flood zone there. You would never think that that's the case.
all those arroyos, right?
Right.
All the water that comes off the mountain, but some of them are just, well, so of course, North Albuquerque acres, we know there's huge arroyos. We know
Right.
that there's a lot of areas that are designated. And a lot of times people can still build on a lot because, like you said, maybe the back half of it is in the floodplain, but you build the house in the area that's not impacted.
So I'm in the North Albuquerque Acres area. You can see there's actually some lots that are technically unbuildable or in the flood zone, or you'd have to do some major work to make them
Buildable.
buildable and insurable. Insurable's the real issue.
And honestly, part of that is you can't change the direction of the flow and have it impact somebody else's lot. So you can't just decide I'm going to fill in this lot and make the water go on someone else's lot, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's not like it's that fixable.
The thing is, so you can get on FEMA. I'm on a different service that we have through our MLS that shows these different flood zone areas. But if you're looking at it, some certain areas, you can do that and actually see if your property you either own or that you're considering purchasing is in there. It should be disclosed as part of the listing if it's a home that's for sale. But
Well, and you should pay attention to it because it's this tiny little field and it says X or it says AO or it says,
yeah,
some code that you should look up and not ignore that code.
yeah. So there's on this map, you can see there's two different shades. There's like a darker green and then there's a blue coral color. The darker green is what they call flood zone, anything with an A, which means it's 100-year flood zone or 1%. So it's basically a chance of a flood every 100 years is how FEMA determines it. And in those, you would need flood insurance for. That would be required if it's a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac or any type of government insurance, FHA, VA, any type of loan. So yeah, I mean, it's just an interesting thing. It's just something to keep in mind. Areas in Valencia County, a lot of Los Lunas is in that flood zone A area. So keep that in mind if you're looking in that area. But it's all doable and there's insurance available and it's all fine. So yeah.
I
Anyway.
signed into Harris.
Yeah, to Harris. Yep.
So, sidebar on that, some insurance companies are much better at getting flood insurance than others. So, make sure if you need to get flood insurance or you're looking for quotes, talk to insurance agents typically that work in flood zone areas a lot, and they
Yeah.
have better resources to get you better coverage rates.
Yeah. So if you're in Los Lunas, probably be good to talk to a insurance broker that's in Los Lunas, Valencia County that understands that area in
Yeah, and
Bosque Farms.
We've had Bill Tobin with Farmers Insurance on our podcast many times.
Yeah.
And he's like been the number one agent with farmers in the world. Okay, they're only in the United States, but in the world. And oftentimes we call him and say, who's the best? And he'll say, this is who I would call,
Yeah.
right? Because he says, I know I can't be the best
Yeah.
at getting you great flood insurance, but here's who's good at it.
Yeah.
So-
No, it's just, we're bringing it up because we don't, I think a lot of times we think, okay, we're in the high desert, right? We're not near any water. What do you mean we have flood zones? Well, we've got a river, we've got arroyos, we've got monsoons. So it does happen in our market. So keep in mind. Changing subject.
Yes.
At the top of the show, I said, when is the best time to buy a home? I did that whole deep dive, last year about when it's the best time to sell. And I determined that it's, if you're just talking about market seasonality, it's probably sometime in March, April is the best time to get your home on the market. There's buyers year round too, as we always say.
Right, for sure. And so sell, feet on the ground, showing houses. So what we've seen is there's a nice supply of houses on the market, right? You
Yes.
can show more than one.
Yep, more than one. Not as much competition out there as there usually is during the summertime.
Right.
Homes are sitting just
A little bit longer. 42 days is median days on market for September. We'll get it. We'll dig into that in a second.
so,
But those are the homes that sold.
so sellers might be a little bit more willing to negotiate.
It's all true.
It is true. At this time of year, I think of October is generally the month, and there's been a lot of research done over the years by a lot of different entities that look at this. Just from a statistical standpoint, October seems to be a really good month.
And so all the news stories, like they're pinpointing right now, not just October, but they're saying October 12th through 18th is the national best week. Timing can shift depending on the local markets. We're coming up on October 12th through the 18th, and I would say it is a really good time to be a buyer. It's more balanced. The interest rates are a little better. Sellers, if they've been on the market here towards the end of summer for a little bit, they're going, oh my gosh, we're going into fall. I hope I get that right offer soon. So it might be the right time to put something forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's just something to think about if you've been thinking about purchasing. If you're waiting for something, I don't know what you're waiting for. If you're going to be a home buyer, if you're waiting for prices to come down, no,
Yeah.
there's nothing in the forecast that makes it look that way. They're probably going to be just flat or up a little bit here over the next little bit based on what I'm seeing.
So that leads us to statistics. We missed your market update for September.
It's because I haven't done it yet.
Right. So let's go into market update for September.
So let's
I
do it
know
right now.
you-
Yeah.
I know you have all the stats.
Yes.
My little statomatic husband. So let's go into it. This one that you're going to start with is interesting. Closed
Well,
sales.
Yeah, closed sales. We've been talking about how the market feels steady, but it's not crazy. It's not very busy. This is the chart that I like to show people is if you look at the 12-month and we go back, let's go back 10 years. And so right now on an annual pace, we're at 9,800 single family detached, 8,900. I said that
There's
wrong.
your dyslexia.
I know exactly. It kicked in. 8,900. You're supposed to point that out, Estelle. 8,900 homes over the last 12 months have sold in the Albuquerque market. But if we go back to, let's go to September, where is it? 2020, we're at 12,000 homes. If we go to the crazy days of September of 2021, almost, well,
13.5.
13.5. So yes, we've been in some people call it a housing recession in the number of sales, right? It's
But that doesn't
down.
correlate to prices.
Exactly. But
I-
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. So the number of sales has been down, but for the month we saw. Let me just go back here. Okay, 745 single family detached homes sell, which is up a little bit from last year close. It's not blowing the doors off. It's steady activity.
Yeah.
Now,
That's good. That's 745
Yeah.
people who got into home ownership. That's awesome.
Sel, earlier you were talking about there's more homes on the market, and that's true, and we can look at it right here. So this is a 10-year chart of the number of homes on the market on every single month since then. So right now we're at 2,063 was the average in September, the number of homes on the market. That's up just about 9% from last year.
But look at it from 2019, pre-pandemic.
Well, right, we're still
Look at it historically.
Yeah, if we go back to September of 18, for example, basically 3,200 homes, and we're at like, let's say 2,100 homes right now. So yes, there's more homes on the market, but we're not flooded like we see in some other markets like Austin, some places in Florida,
And
some other areas.
I'm not so sure Austin's flooded or Phoenix, but their prices have come down.
That's true.
So yes, there's more homes on the market, but I don't know. Be interesting to look at statistically 2019 versus today for Austin, just
Yeah.
out of curiosity.
Flood is not the right word for sure.
I'm going to call you out.
Oh, no,
so-
that's good.
So if you look at this chart, Tigo, we're looking at 10 years and you can see the seasonality.
Uh-huh.
But what we see in the news media a lot of times is homes on the market jumps up, way up, right? You hear these inflammatory headlines of so many homes percentage-wise or whatever, but they're not looking at historical, and we're still behind pre-pandemic days.
I saw one of those headlines that where foreclosures jumped 15% this year.
Yep, from zero.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, but how many were there, and how many actually, as a percentage of the entire market, it's still way below what would be considered normal number of distressed sellers.
Exactly. So go on. I interrupted you.
Well, you want to see something shocking? Look at this. This is inventory all the way back to 2006, number of homes on the market. And people talk about, oh, the market's this, market's that. It's like 2008. It's like, yeah, no, it isn't. In September, where is it? Somewhere.
Where?
2008, there were 6,400 homes on the market in Albuquerque versus today at 2,000. So, yeah, no.
Significant. It looks like it probably didn't start even keeping the statistic because the line drops off so fast in 2006. So
Well, what
it
happened
kinda-
was we went from a very, very low inventory market, similar to what we had in 2022. And then with all the stuff going on in 7 and 8, we saw this huge
okay.
surge in number of homes coming on the market. So
Interesting.
that's what we're looking at here.
Okay. So let's talk about a statistic we don't talk about very much, Tigo,
Yeah.
which is how many showings houses get, because we know that from the lock boxes that we use, right? The realtors make an appointment using a system, online system, and we can get the numbers of how many showings a house gets.
So right now in September, on average, of all those 2,000 or so homes that were on the market, they received 4.3 showings during the month.
That's closed sales.
These are the ones that actually closed. Oh,
Closed.
actually, no, I take that back. No, this isn't. This is all the entire market, not
The
just
entire,
closed.
not just closed.
Not just
So
closed.
they
yeah.
are averaging 4.3 showings.
Yep.
Do you have statistics, Tigo, that shows how many showings they get before they get an accepted offer?
Let
Is
me
that
just
what
say
that
something
is?
about that. On the shows per listing, that's pretty low. That's the lowest we've seen in a while.
Yeah.
So there's, like I said, you know that, right? There's not as many buyers in the market right now, but yet it does seem like they're more serious, the ones that are out there.
Absolutely.
When you're talking to them, yeah.
They're not just out looking at houses for the fun of it. They're looking to find a house.
Yes, but there's a reason why they're looking.
Yeah. Anyway, there's not as many casual shoppers as maybe we've seen in other years. Let me just put it that way.
Okay, keep going.
Okay. The number of showings until the home goes pending. And this one's interesting because what it's saying is, okay, the home's on the market. How many times does it get shown before it actually goes under contract, gets an offer and goes under contract? Well, it's 13 days in September.
12.9, basically 13.
Yeah.
That's a big disconnect between 4 and 13.
Well, it is, but that was the number of showings on average for all the homes on the
All
market
the
was
homes.
4. This is
Of the houses that went pending, how many?
how many showings were there before it went pending. In this case, it's 13. But this is a really good indicator for somebody that actually has their home on the market, because it's saying, okay, you've had your home on the market, you've had 20 people come through your home. Well, you're now way above average on how many showings you get before the home sells, which
So
means
there's some sort of disconnect there,
correct.
right?
How does
Like-
Either price, condition, location, all the things we always talk about: price, condition, location, marketing.
Right.
and how does the 12.9 compare to prior years? Is it about the same since September has a similar trend?
Well, it's interesting. We see more activity. It bumped up a little bit during the winter in January. It was 14 days, not a big difference there. But compared to other years, it's very similar. Let me get back to, let's go to September last year, basically exactly the same. So the number of showings before the home sells is in line with previous years. I've got another way to look at it here. Let me pull up that chart. So September of this year, like I said, it was 13. Last year, it was 12.6. In 2023, it was 11.5 for September. So it is taking a little more showings, and we can look at that in days on market too. Let's
So
jump to
for
that
all you
one.
realtors that watch our podcast, thank you. Good information, huh, to talk to your sellers about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So days on market, I was interviewed on this stat for the Albuquerque Journal last week, and
Oh,
actually-
congratulations on that. You were in the Albuquerque Journal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just talking
Quoting.
about time to sell. And So we look at this and it says, okay, on average, the homes that sold in September was 42 days. Took 42 days. That's average. Last year, it was 32 days. In 2023, it was 30 days. So it's bumped up quite a bit. But we got to put some perspective on that. And so what I'm going to do is bring up the line chart and look at the 5-year trend. Actually, we should look at the 10-year trend. We look at the 10-year trend. If we go back to 2019, we're almost basically, actually, we're a little bit higher than 2019. And remember, we were doing this podcast at the end of 19 going, this market is really picking up. We
Yep.
knew it at the time.
Yep.
If we go back to 2018, it was 38 days. So yes, homes are taking longer to sell on average, but it's not like out of
Not
line
astronomical.
from a what I would call a balanced market
Right,
standpoint.
right.
Median days on market, which is always an interesting one because that tells us, okay, half the homes took this many days to sell. And in this case, in September, it's 22, which is up. It's almost double from last year, but it's still not out of line if you go back to these years like 17, 18, and 19. So
Right.
just a little longer time to sell. Sellers just need to be prepared for that.
Right. Or position your house if you need it to sell faster.
Yeah. Position it. What do you mean by position it?
Well, for location, condition, and all the other things, the marketing, if you need to price it right, or if you need to stage it, or if you need to do some work on it to make sure it shines, or if you need to declutter or put things away or move out and repaint and clean, whatever it might take to make it be the one that sells on the right timeline for you.
So I want to jump to the number of new listings. And this chart is very jagged because there's a big seasonality here. You can see it always peaks out in May, June, July, people putting their homes on the market. And then going into winter, it really drops off December, January. But I'm going to put it on a 12-month rolling so that we can see where we're at. So this year, in the last 12 months, there's been, let's say 11,000, well, it's 11,603 in the last 12 months, which is low compared to previous years like 2017, 2018. It was more like 16,000 homes a year coming on the market. So we're not even back to what we look at those years like 16, 17, 18 as like the normal years where it's just a steady activity, right? We're still, a lot of people aren't moving.
Yeah.
They're staying put. They're locked in at their low mortgage rates. So yeah.
But it all kind of leads to saying what a stable economy, stable market we have. We've got good employment here. We've got a lot going on. Interest rates are actually really good when you look historically. So that whole thing about October typically is the best month to buy. Yeah, I think that it's true, but I also think it's November, December, January, February, because a lot of people don't think about it during those months. And then March hits and it warms up and then everybody's looking at the same house.
Well, let me push back on that a little bit because what we see is let me pull up this stat, Tracy. Let me show you this.
Okay.
So
They're not.
where is it?
People are listing their homes in the spring now. So there's more.
What we start to see is the number of homes on the market usually peak in September and October, but then they really drop off in November and December. So there's going to be less choices, people that are delisting.
Yeah, it's less choices, but there's less people looking also.
That's
so
fair.
It still to me seems like over the next few months it's the best opportunity before next March because historically prices rise starting then.
Of course.
We usually stay fairly flat until
Yeah.
then.
Yep.
Starts getting warm here, spring break. People start feeling like summer's coming and the market heats up.
So let's look at prices. We're looking at median sale price, and there's an important caveat on this one. This month, we saw median price for single-family detached homes in the greater Albuquerque area, $384,208. That's 6.7% above last September.
I'm waiting for the caveat.
The important caveat is home prices have not appreciated 6.7% in the last year. Now, median price versus last September is up 6.7%, but that's median price. So if we go back to last September, we had a pretty low read. Where is it here? December. There it is, September. So September of last year, if you're looking at this chart, you can see that it was like the low for the year last year. And I'm having a really hard time with the chart here. There it is. So we had a low read last September, which just makes this year's seem much higher for
So-
median price.
For those that aren't watching online, 360,000 was the median last year versus 384,208 this year. So 24,000 more this year.
So, but if I take this and do a 3-month average this year versus the 3-month average last year, we're up 2.8% on median price, which is more in line with other data
Right.
I'm seeing. Like if we look at price per square foot, even on a monthly basis, we're up 4%. But if we do, again, that 3-month rolling, it's 2.9% median price per square foot.
It's a really good way to look at it, which isn't easy. You've done a good job really digging through and making it real.
Yeah. Median price is better than average, but price per square foot is better than
All of them.
median price and average price. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a gazillion different ways to track market data, but some are market prices. But right now, we're somewhere in this mid 2 to mid 3% price appreciation range in our market.
Well, good market update, Tigo. Thank you for that. It's all really good information. And basically the summary, like if you had to give one elevator pitch on the overall,
This is what a balanced market looks like.
there we go.
Let me tell you what happened. So I did that interview with the Albuquerque Journal, just talking about what's going on in the market and days on
In
market.
the Albuquerque real estate market.
Yeah, Albuquerque real estate market. Yes, and I said this is a normal and balanced market. Well, I should not have used the word normal, and they used that quote, and I got called out on that, and that's fair because what is normal,
Yeah.
right? Normal. When I was saying normal, what I meant compared to some of the craziness we had in the last 5 years, let's say.
Right.
We're a balanced market. I don't think there's an oversupply of homes. I don't think there's an oversupply of buyers. We've reached this kind of equilibrium in our market. Now that could change drastically if we see interest rates drop,
Right.
anything substantial.
Yep. Well, even not so substantial. I
I
mean,
think-
we see it when the news changes, we see more buyers saying, I think it's time.
Yeah, and there's this whole conversation. Fed's going to cut rates later, and just remember that everybody thinks the Fed's going to cut rates, so the mortgage rates, a lot of that's already baked in. So don't wait for the Fed to cut
Let's not
rates.
say baked in. I think that's like everybody's saying baked in. What you mean is they've already priced it for that.
The bond market that sets mortgage rates has already accounted for the Fed
Much better
cutting
language.
rates. How's that?
Yeah. And that baked in, everybody says, I'm like, that doesn't tell the public what that means,
Okay.
right? Okay. Well, thanks for your update. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you want to ask questions, Tigo the Statomatic loves to answer those. If you're looking to buy or sell a home, give us a call, 505-448-8888. And if you just have some questions,
And
tell us about this
yeah,
balloon
we can't
poster.
forget. So we bought
Vanna.
2 of the 2025 balloon posters. I actually like this one. It's got a lot of New Mexico themed stuff on it, which is cool. I saw an interview with the artist, and he was an interesting guy. He's
Yeah.
really
saw that
cool.
too.
Yeah. But anyway, we're giving one away. If you want to register, we're just doing a giveaway.
We're not giving one away. We're giving this one away.
This one away. that
Number
you're looking-
159 of 200,
500.
500.
Yeah.
So they're already sold out before the Balloon Fiesta started, right? Of the
The signed
posters?
ones were.
The signed ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But these are probably sold out by now, I would guess.
Yeah. So if you want to have a chance to win this great 2025 Balloon Fiesta poster that Tigo already framed for you, there's a QR code. All you have to do is jump online, get your information entered, and we're going to be doing a drawing on Sunday.
Yeah, and we've got a short link. You can go to abq.re / that's my short code / abq.re/2025 balloons.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thanks for listening. We look forward to being your resource for real estate, and we'll see you next time.
Take care.